Assalamualaikum and good day to all the students of Halal Product Development. Um, I'm going to record this evaluation video on your experiment or lab report. Okay, I'm going to share the screen on how I evaluate the lab report here. So if you can remember on the instruction of lab 1. Okay, experiment 1 is the melting point determination. So the determination of origin of fat samples by melting point method. You were asked to watch 3 videos: video A, video B, and video C. So you have to provide a report on each video. So you can provide a separate report on the 3 videos, or you can combine them. It's up to you. But of course, it is better actually to report each video individually first for each videos. And then you have to write a report explaining the experiment presented in the videos. And then in the discussion part, you need to elaborate on several issues. One is the correlation between melting point and halal status. Issue number 2, correlation between the melting point and the Toyiban status of the oil. And question number 3 is to elaborate on the most sophisticated or state-of-the-art method on how to measure melting point. Okay, let's go on with the first group. Okay, I will start with group randomly. So I'll start with group Putri Nur Amirah, Nik Nur Shaza, Wong Xingxian, Kavinisha Amirah. So I don't know which group is this. So this group has not stated which group. So this is I don't know which group is this. We'll see later. Let's go to another group. So every time you write the front page of your report, make sure that you write the number group, yes, like this: group 2, Loh Wiki, Muhammad Amirul, Nasihah, Nurliana, and Tibashini. Okay, so this group did not provide a table of content. Start with the introduction. You don't have any table of content. So explain about the fats and triglycerides. Then explain about saturation, monosaturated, chemical constituents of fats, varieties of structures, and then explain about compare between the animal-based and plant-based fat. Then explain on the materials and method for video 1. Objective. So objective is actually to determine the melting point of a solid substance, not the aim of the experiment. So you start with to determine, yeah. So, and the material used in this experiment was thermometer. So explaining materials, you should segregate between materials and method. But most of some of the journal do not combine between materials and method. So I don't mind between these two. Uh, and then it's explained on the powdered feed with capillary tube. And the explanation is further. So figure 1. Whole apparatus was arranged in figure 1. I think this is figure 3, supposedly. Beaker which tube was placed filled with paraffin water, and then liquid was heated. So explaining using uh, reported sentences or passive voice. So video 2, melting point determination with melt temp to measure the melting point using melt temp technology equipment. Sample was prepared, falls down into the bump end. So explanation is, but the figure number, so figure 2, where is figure 2? So figure 2 is not relevant, yeah? So it's actually figure 4, so some mistake here. All right, and then video 3 is melting point determination with the GMT. What is the material? Small amount with DigiMelt. Firstly, the sample was prepared, sample was taken and placed onto the wash glass. Then melting point container was filled with solid dabbing open end. Then explaining. Okay, so how much should I give this mark for? This is for group 2, right? Okay, this is for group 2. Uh, that one group 2. So for 20, so for first video it could be around 15. Second video also 15. Third video also 15. It's not very much impressive. So combination of 45 out of 50 out of 60. Yeah. Then question 1. Question 1. Okay. Explain the correlation according to so you are putting introduction into this answer. You should have answered that correct directly. So just explain the correlation between fat oil melting point, yeah, with the halal status. So the answer is too long and it is not relevant much to the question. So I'm looking at of the melting point for lard and melting point for plant-based oil. So which one is higher supposedly? So it's not being explained. So you don't very much understand the question, and then you don't answer it accurately. Yeah, you don't answer it accurately. Um, there's no example of melting point for vegetable oil. It's not provided here. You talk about unsaturated fatty acid. You must talk about animal-based fat and like lard, and plant-based fat like canola oil or anything lah. Ataupun or you can compare with palm oil, corn oil or palm oil. Yeah. So give the numbers of the melting point, but it's not given here. So it should be that the higher the number for animal fat have higher melting point temperature compared to plant oil. So it's not given here. So how much mark that I should provide? This is just 6. It's because you're not answering the question. Question 2, correlation between and Toyiban. Melting point in Toyiban, of course, you need to explain based on saturated and unsaturated. So again, you are wasting your time talking about the explanation on Toyiban. So, okay, you're explaining about saturated and unsaturated, which is double bond. So, and you explain, yeah. So the same carbon number, and then with double bond, what's the difference between melting point? Supposedly, stearic acid has a 69.6. Stearic acid, where is stearic acid? How many carbons? C. Stearic acid is 69, higher carbon. So, and double bond have lower point, 13.4. Oleic acid is 13.4. With the same carbon number lah. C13. Okay, so you as a consumer, you will buy oil that has a lower melting point. That should be the conclusion. Okay, so I can accept this answer, but not a full mark lah, definitely. So I can give 8 for this. Method to measure melting point, the sophisticated method to measure. So you're using Mettler-Toledo melting point device with one click digimelt. This one, and then explaining the mechanism of the equipment. But what is the sensitivity of the melting point that can it get? So accuracy and sensitivity, I'm looking for that. Yeah. So you don't explain this. What is methodology? How do you record the temperature? It's not being explained accurately here. So for this, not really satisfying. 7. And lastly is the organization of the report. References is okay. So let us see on the organization of the report. No level of content. You didn't put any abstract or some kind of summary of what you have done. And then you miss out several figures. Lupa nak taruh figure semua tu. Okay, so of course you cannot get full mark. Ada mistake kat situ, so I'm giving you 6 for that. So you have 45 plus 6 plus 8 plus 7 plus 6. So you have 72 marks. Okay. Next is, so we finish with group 2. Next, let's go on with group 1. Okay, Cheng Yiling, Tuan Nur Afifah, Najwa Ayuni, Jayasri. You have introduction, so again you don't have table of content. Abstract also you don't have. Abstract is very important just to provide summary to the reader of what you have done in this report. So you do the introduction, okay. All right. Materials method for video 1, you have materials, thermometer, up to wire gauge, methods, explaining the methods, but you don't, you put it in paragraph. You don't put, you don't include any snapshot of the video. Materials, wash glass, and this is for video 2, same thing. So only paragraph of the methodology. Video 3 as well, paragraph of the methodology. Okay, and then result has been provided. So you have two materials, 30 and 50 degrees Celsius. Video 2 not available. In video 3, 155.7, 160, so you have 158.2. And then you do the discussion separately for video 1. So you should have done, it's okay, I can accept this. Okay, good discussion. Video 2, some mistake there. Apparatus, also some mistake, spelling mistake like this. Okay, so you explain everything and with no reference of the photos. Yeah, you didn't include the photos. Question, okay, so let's see how much you earn for. This is group 1, right? Is this group 1? Yes, group 1. So definitely your presentation is less than the previous group lah. Group 1, so you have 13 plus 13 plus 13. So 13 plus 13 plus 39, 39. And then answering the question. Explain the correlation. These are the plant oil melting point from butter to castor oil to cocoa butter. And then animal fat is higher, 32 to 35. Lard is 41 degrees Celsius. Okay. So you can predict that you have more of animal fat if the temperature is higher, if the melting point is higher of 40 degrees Celsius. Okay, so for the answer, okay, can give you 8.5 for this. Correlation between melting point and Toyiban. Okay, explanation about Toyiban. So, um, so between the saturated and unsaturated fat, what is the cardiovascular disease? Okay, bad cholesterol. So, what is the temperature for low melting point, more even? So, there is no example of low melting point and high melting point for saturated and unsaturated. You didn't give any example of unsaturated fat and saturated fat melting point, yeah. So markah rendah lah kat sini. So 6 only. Method to measure the melting point, so sophisticated method. So you're going Optimelt. Is it automated? Is automatically. So is there any example of measurement? It's not given, yeah. So the explanation is not that detailed on question number 3. Thus, mark cannot be full. So 6.5 for this one. Organization of the report. You have conclusion and reference is okay. Okay, reference is okay. You don't have abstract or summary in at the front. You don't have the table of content. And then there is no photos, snapshot of the video being attached inside the explanation, inside the text. Okay, you don't have the table. Usually the table number is at the top, ya. Selalunya kita tulis tables citation at the top, bukan di bawah, ya. Figure dekat atas, figure kat atas, table kat bawah. So tak ada figure langsung, tak ada gambar langsung. So that's it lah. Organization. So saya bagi 6 juga. So total 39 plus 39 plus 8.5 plus 6 plus 6.5 plus 6. So you have 66 sahaja. Okay. This group 1 finish. Ini group mana? Group 4. Okay. Next is group 4. Nurlaila, Vanessa, Asma, Shazlina, and Saranya. Okay. Abstract, you have abstract. Very nice. Okay, so explaining about the 3 videos and then finally answering the question. Yeah. You have introduction. Okay, materials and methods. So separate the materials and methods. Okay, and then you have a snapshot of the video explaining the methodology, precautions, and then you have MELTEM, materials and methods, explaining the steps using a snapshot of the video, you have precautions, and then number 3, materials, methods, and explaining the steps using flowchart with the snapshot of the video. Okay, and then provide result and discussion. Combine the result and discussion for the 3 videos. You have video 1 with video 2. Yeah, you have temperature, right? 400 degrees Celsius. And then you have video 3 of 160 degrees Celsius. Okay. So this is group 4, right? Okay, group 4. Very nice report that you have. Well, of course, provide 18 plus 18. Yeah, so you have 354 out of 60. Yeah, of course lah, mesti kena lebih besar lah pada orang lain, because you did better. Okay, and then the answer for question number 1. Correlation between fat oil and melting point, halal status. Of course, I provide a very good reference, Sufyan and Muhammad et al. 2020. Okay, I'm looking for what's the temperature for animal fat and temperature for plant fat. Melting point, where is it? No, it's not being provided. Yeah, so kita tak tahu lah. So you should give example lah. Animal fat dia melting point dia berapa, plant based oil berapa kan. Melting point for plant based oil mesti rendah daripada animal fat. You tak provide, you tak jawab soalan. So I bagi markah kesian saja. 2/5 ya. Tidak menjawab soalan ya. 6. Correlation between halal thayyiban issue. So if you want to provide a figure, then you need to explain. Yeah, figure 3.1, and then you need to you must put explanation beforehand, and after that then you put the figure. So saturated fat must be higher melting point kan. So you must put the example. Oh, okay, you have the example. Okay, all right. Okay. Too long actually, the answer. Too long. Too much effort. So question number 2, 8. Question number 2, 6 for this one. So for yourself, 8.5 for group 4. Method to measure melting point using the most sophisticated. Okay, you have this. All right. So you're taking. Okay, so it's Magna Toledo as well. But what is the sensitivity? How many decimal point, up to what decimal point of melting temperature? So it's not being provided here. And so you explain, and then you have this. So what is the temperature? And then okay, it's 1 decimal point there. If you can have an equipment who can provide 2 decimal point or 3 decimal point, that is even more accurate. Okay. So the temperature is recorded by a video. Okay. Capillary tube into the furnace of the analyzer, and then you have the video that record the temperature. So you explain the methodology, but you not explain the advantage of this equipment, but not a bad not a it's a good answer. So 8 for that. uh, Let me compare with other people. 7 and 6, yeah, okay, so you should get 8. Organization of report, not too bad actually. I give you 8. Okay, so total dia berapa? 54 plus 6 plus 8.5 plus 8 plus 8, 84.5. 84.5. Nanti kita adjust lah. Mungkin boleh naik jadi 85 ke. Just look at the report by other group dulu. Okay, let us see group mana pula ni. Yang ni tak ada number ni. Tak ada number ni memang saya potong markah lah. Which group now? So group 5 tak ada lagi ya. Group 1 dah, group 2 dah, group 3 belum. 3 belum. Dan group 5. So kita tengok group 3 kat mana. Group 5 ni. Oh, group ni dia hantar. Okay. This is group Putri Nur Amirah ni group mana ni? Oh, group mana? Okay, so this is group 5. Iman Ajilia, Jayasri Nurul Syafiqah, Abdullah Adi Mukhlis. You have abstract, tak ada table of content. You have abstract. Nice. And some introduction. Then you explain the video one, figure one, and then okay, if you want to explain through pictures are just summary, yeah. So you must have a paragraph of explanation of the methodology. The pictures ataupun diagram, flow diagrams, just to help, yeah, just to help a summary of, to help the paragraph of methodology, yeah. It should not become the main method for you to explain the methodology. You have the result discussion. Okay, meltdown. Okay, you don't have paragraph explaining the methodology, but video 3 you have the paragraph. Ni sebab bagi kat orang lain berbeza lah ni. That's why presentationnya berbeza. So berapa markah ni? Group berapa tadi? Group 5. So group 5, tak boleh mark. Okay, so dia akan dapat 14 jam. 14 jam. So 14 times 3, you have 42. 60. Question number 1. Correlation. Animal fact. Okay, so you have I'm looking for the temperature melting point. Where's temperature melting point for animal fat? And then plant-based fat tak ada. Tak ada. Maka rendah lah. So berapa markah? So again 6. Toyiban. So Toyiban. Okay. Then you have, but you do not give the a picture of a molecule of saturated and unsaturated, but you provide the percentage of fatty acid. But the temperature tak ada. So temperature of unsaturated and saturated tak ada, so kena bagi markah kesian sahajalah. 5. Method to measure the melting point. My God, you don't have a picture of the equipment. So where is it? You're not explaining. Basic level machine is. So you did not do some research on the most sophisticated method. So there is no research at all. No research at all has been provided. For question number 3. Okay, bagi markah berapa ni? Fail lah, definitely. 4. Organization of the report. So yeah, tak ada paragraph on the methodology. You don't have figure 1, figure 2, but no explanation. No, you must have subtitle for the figure. The title of the figure. Figure tu tak ada title. So memang tak cantik lah. Yang lain saya bagi 8 semua. So 6. So you all dapat markah kesian 5 lah. Okay, so total mark is 42 plus 6 plus 5 plus 4 plus 5 62 62. So the last group is group 3 lah. Maknanya last group is group mana? Kita tulis group number yang menyusahkan. Group 3. Okay, so last group is group 3. Putri Nur Amira, Nik Nur Syaza, Wong Xingqian, Kavishna, and Amira. So tak ada group number, tak ada lah. When you write my name, you should write associate professor lah. Bahasa Melayu, Profesor Madya, tapi bahasa Inggeris, associate professor. You have introduction, dia tak ada abstract, dia tak ada table of content. Okay. Then, okay, method. Again, method is explained through paragraph. Sepatutnya dia kena explain paragraph dulu. Lepas tu baru taruh summary using the diagrams. So figure number tak bagi. Same thing that you have done for this. So it must be paragraph dulu and then baru followed by diagrams or figures. Same thing that you have done for video number 3. Not too bad, but still not too excellent. Ini saya boleh bagi 17 ya. Apa 17 campur 17. Sekali 51. Answer for question number 1, correlation between melting point and halal status. Design discussion, okay. Alright, okay. Explain the correlation. So again, tak ada contoh melting point. Untuk lard, tak ada contoh melting point untuk plant base. Yeah, so you don't understand the basic question. You don't understand. Six. Between Toyiban, of course, talking about saturated, unsaturated. And then you do not report the saturated fat punya melting point. You do not report the unsaturated fat melting point. So, tak faham soalan ni. You tak faham soalan apa benda soalan ni nak. You tak faham ni. Melting point lah. So, you have to provide melting point lah. Again, answer was not provided. 6. Method to measure melting point. New, modern, sophisticated, and use Mac-Toledo. Sama macam group tadi ya, macam copy paste lah pula. You tak bagi example of results. You boleh dapat daripada internet ya, daripada even daripada YouTube ya, banyak ada gambar yang boleh taruh. So sama macam group tadi, macam copy paste ya. Group mana tadi? Sini berapa nak bagi ni? Sama macam grup 1 Kalau you buat serupa macam ada group, bahayalah. Sebab tu tak ada copy paste ya. Jangan copy paste daripada internet directly. So you have to make sure that you do some modification. Barulah, kalau the danger is that kalau different group taking from the same source and then you copy paste, kantoi macam ni lah. So tak best lah. So which group tadi? Group 1 ya. Group 1. Nope. So different. So dah lupa dah group mana tadi. 6. So berapa markah you dapat? Oh yes, organization of the report. You have conclusion, reference is nice. So tapi tak ada paragraph ya. Ada abstract. So not too bad actually. So gonna gain about 7. So oh yes, you tak taruh apa ni group 3 punya number. So 51 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 7. 76, not too bad. Okay, 51 plus 6, 76. Okay, so these are the mark for the whole group for lab 1. Group 1 got 66, group 2 got 72, group 3 got 76, group 4 got 84.5, which is the highest, and group 5 got 62. Okay, you can defend your group marks by contacting me through WhatsApp, or you can call me. Then you can explain to me why you should get more marks compared to the mark that I've given now. Yeah, you can defend your group's performance. Yeah, you can call me through WhatsApp, or you can call me through phone, and then we can discuss about the mark. All right. Thank you very much, and I'm going to put the instruction for lab 2 maybe tomorrow. Okay, goodbye, assalamualaikum, and good day.